G-Man Boxing. Do you know what I mean? Every single live he donates. I see him on other lives donating. He's got the bag on it.
Alright, people. Bit of news here I want to report on. Now, what I will say about this is, right, I'm reporting on this. It's been published by The Sun. I would say take this with a pinch of salt. If it was a different source, I'd probably be a bit... Now, it could turn out to be true, you never know. They're reporting on it certainly here. But The Sun, if they tell you it's going to be 40 degrees outside, you better want to bring a rain jacket and everything, because that's the kind of guys these kind of guys are. They're reporting here that Eddie Hearn has made a big money offer to Dillian Whyte for Dillian Whyte to remain on on the zone. Sky Sports, I was going to say. Now, remain on the zone and swerve the Tyson Fury fight. Okay, so it's stating here, I'm just going to quote this, is that Whyte's promoter Eddie Hearn lost the purse bid to Frank Warren, so he is in total control of Dillian Whyte's next fight, which is being set to take place against Tyson Fury on April the 23rd at Wembley Stadium. This will be on BT Sports. Dillian Whyte will make a career high payday, but defeat could damage his brand ahead of a potential move to Hearn's The Zone streaming app broadcast in the future. Lest we forget, Dillian Whyte hasn't actually had a fight fully on The Zone. And what I mean by that is that when he fought Povetkin, it was shown on The Zone in the US, but it was on Sky Sports in the UK. Since Eddie Hearn's gone full steam ahead with The Zone solely, Dillian Whyte hasn't fought on The Zone yet. Now, he was meant to obviously fight Otto Wallin back there at the end of October. It didn't happen. So he's worrying. It's stating here that they're worried that it could hurt his brand moving forward with The Zone if he goes in there, fights Tyson Fury, and ends up being beaten in decisive fashion. It's interesting. I'll carry on reading. The Sun understands that Whyte's long-term partnership with Hearn has an attractive backup plan on the table. The Matchroom boss, who has his own shows broadcast on The Zone, wants to keep one of his stars' attraction away from Frank Warren and his BT Sports backer, but only guarantees a rematch with Anthony Joshua and perhaps really? When you hear this, perhaps a third clash with fan favourite Derek Chisora. Please no. Just no. But before I go any further, just please no, not that again. We've seen it twice. Could make up for the WBC world title shot and the $8 million purse he was set to make for challenger for Tyson Fury. Despite the hold up on getting the fight signed, Fury has remained hard at work in preparation. WBC have also anticipated that it will go ahead because they've made a one-off union belt. However, Whyte remains silent. Fury's US promoter Bob Arum recently labelled him a damn fool for holding things up, whilst the Gypsy King himself has jokingly set up a Just Given page to fund Dillian Whyte attending a press conference offered to donate 47 pence, which I did see actually. That's pretty much it then. So, a few things. Now, obviously, Dillian Whyte, yesterday was reportedly anyway, the last day he had to get his contract and all that stuff sorted for this fight. So, we've heard nothing since then. I genuinely was expecting to hear a little bit of news in the way of that, either yesterday evening or today. We have heard news, but not in that regard. If this is true, now I'm going to, look, if it was re-reported by guys like Coppinger, Raphael, Benson, people like that, who a lot of their sources are pretty spot on. Coppinger can be a bit of a hit and a miss, but most of the times I've reported on Coppinger, he's been actually pretty spot on. But if that is true, it says several things. It says to me that Eddie Hearn probably doesn't have the utmost confidence in Dillian Whyte winning the fight, if that is true. Because you would figure that if you're Eddie Hearn and you're backing your guy, because he always says he backs his guy, why would you need to have an alternate plan on the table, which consists of potential rematch with Anthony Joshua, which consists of a trilogy fight with Derek Chisora? I don't want to say a trilogy fight with Chisora. Chisora a couple of years ago, yeah, it was fun, but now he's looking old. He's not looking good. So there's that. In terms of Fury, if this fight for whatever reason does end up getting binned, it seems logical to me. Obviously, AJ and Usyk, they're going to go ahead, have their rematch. Logical step would probably be for Tyson Fury if Frank Warren is still having his say in it, if he's still going to have this show, or he has a date reserved. Might not be in Wembley, might be in maybe the MEN or somewhere like that, Manchester Arena. But likelihood is, I would say from a promotional point of view, put him in with Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce is Queensbury, Tyson Fury is co-promoted by Queensbury. To me, that makes logical sense. And it would probably do decent numbers. Like, it wouldn't be the stadium filler that Whyte versus Fury is, but it would do very, very good numbers nonetheless. I mean, Joe Joyce, Olympic silver medalist, big, strong guy. I know he's ranked, he's not mandatory, but he's number one ranked with the WBO. But I'm sure the WBC would just chuck him in the rankings and say, there you go, and then turn around and say, what, Joe Joyce? He was always ranked number 12. We just had him written in invisible ink. That's why you couldn't see it. Of course, that's WBC for you. But interesting. I will watch the space with this because, again, Dillian Whyte hasn't said anything. Could it potentially be that maybe Eddie Hearn is worried that Dillian Whyte will go to BT Sport? Maybe that there'll be a good offer there. Maybe he'll feel there's a better offer there because they still do pay-per-view. It's not as probably strong marketing-wise as Sky is, but it's still a lot stronger marketing-wise than it would be for DAZN. And the DAZN thing is interesting. I do worry about Eddie Hearn and DAZN now, I have to say, because I think that going back on a question someone actually left in the live stream I recently did, Eddie Hearn, prior to signing with DAZN, was kind of hinting that there was other parties involved, as in, like, this is around about the time DAZN were in talks of taking over BT. And I wonder if Eddie Hearn jumped and went full time on DAZN, assuming there would be a BT Sport or some big company like that coming on, and DAZN getting the rights to that. In which case they get Premier League football, they get rugby. I think they do cricket on BT Sports. They do several other sports which would help the boxing platform, because I'm telling you now, the Sky brand in terms of marketing helped Matchroom exponentially, and I think Eddie Hearn is realising it now how much they really did help, because you only have to go on Twitter to see that when DAZN have a show on, very seldom is it trending. You go and look up, like, obviously last night was a big fight, the Amir Khan Kell Brook fight, but even other shows prior to that, they're always trending on Sky Sports, even if they're not massive names. There's still that marketing pull, so they're still able to get that. In terms of this, Eddie Hearn obviously needs stars on DAZN. Dillian Whyte is a star in British boxing, certainly, so maybe he wants to just, maybe he's looking at this from a long-term point of view and thinking, if you get iced by Fury, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to build you back up. Whereas if you just go into it now, we can make some story up. Oh, it's everyone else's fault but our own. And there you go. We can get you in some good fights. And there's potential there for an AJ fight, Parker rematch, Dillian Whyte fight, or not, Derek Chisora fight. So there's potential there. So we'll watch the space with this. But I said I'd report on this. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, if you could, lads and lassies, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. We grew quite a big bit over the weekend. We're at over 6.5k now, so we're pushing, we're getting there. I only hit 6k just before the new year, so it's been a good little bit of growth this year so far. So lads and lassies, hope you enjoyed the video. If you could, smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, hit the notification bell, help your boy out. For now, lads and lassies, I'll talk. You should get a review of the week tomorrow. Peace.